Hello YouTube, back once again with my Game of Thrones reviews. Here we are with episode 3, the High Sparrow review, and let's talk about this episode. Once again, we'll go through section area by area, not how the plot unfolded. So, first we had Arya Stark, good old Arya, after she finally entered the House of Black and White to train to be assassin. You just see her sweeping the floors with a broom. I kind of darkly hilarious, just her going like, well, this is boring. and, so yeah, and then she's just pissed off at the faceless assassin, just saying, "Oh, to be someone without a face, like you're not ready yet." And the training grounds to be an assassin in this world is nowhere near as fun as it looked like in Assassin's Creed. There's not like a fun pit of like duels constantly going on. No, there's just a bunch of sad zombie-looking people just walking around with no like, everything looking as miserable as possible. So yeah, that wasn't very pleasant. But and then one of those zombie people attacked Arya, and leading Arya to call her a C word, and that was freaking amazing. And then I love the line then just when the faceless assassin shows up, and then she's like, "I wanted to be a faceless assassin." And then he just says like, "Look, like you have Arya Stark's clothes, you have her worldly possessions, you have her sword, you're Arya Stark, you're not someone without a face." And so then this led to a very sad and touching scene with Arya. She got rid of her clothes, which I think is supposed to be the same traveling gear she's been wearing for like since season 2, which, my god, how in God's name did those not, are those just not falling apart, like considering all the shit she's been through? But I digress. Yeah, but it was such a sad scene, her just tossing all her possessions away, basically just giving up on her past life as Arya Stark. And like then when she just took Needle, I was really sad and afraid she was gonna drop that into the water. It was so nice to see her just refusing to let that go. But anyway, so great stuff with Arya this week. Very nice and touching. So there was that. Then there was King's Landing. This was probably the most lighthearted part of this week's episode. Down at King's Landing, basically the big thing that happens is Tommen and Marjorie get married, and this actually led to my favorite line, my famous last line of the episode, just when Tommen, just after sleeping with Marjorie's like, "I'm sorry, did I hurt you?" Tommen is basically just the butter, so it's Game of Thrones, just the nice guy, just a really nice, like, innocent guy next to all these horrible human beings. But yeah, and for those fans of the book who've been complaining that Tommen's like 18 now, and like when he's like 13, like 12 in the books, guys, that would have been really creepy if Natalie Dormer was sleeping with someone who's like an 18, with like a 12-year-old. That would have been a very wouldn't play out well for viewers, but okay. And then basically all that happens is you're starting to see Marjorie gaining power. You're starting to see Cersei losing her power, and just nice stuff. And then the other major thing that happens in King's Landing is that whole religious thing, the Sparrows, I think they're called, the High Sparrows. Basically, they're just humiliate a guy, and Cersei just goes to clean up the issue. And when she meets the leader of the High Sparrow, Jonathan Pryce, and I'd really like the scene between Cersei and Jonathan Pryce when they were basically just when Cersei was just so amazed by the whole idea that this person is just doing these things just out of for no reason, not power or anything like that. He's just doing it to be nice. And that kind of just blows Cersei's mind. That made me laugh. That was kind of darkly hilarious. So pretty fun stuff going. It was a much more fun and lighthearted was going down in King's Landing. Then we hit the north with all the characters who are up there, and what happens is Littlefinger, Sansa learns that Littlefinger promised her to Bruce Bolton's son, Ramsay Bolton, or Ramsay Snow, as he's been known for most of the series. And of course, Sansa's like, "No, Bruce Bolton killed my brother. He did the whole red wedding bullshit stuff. Like, remember that?" And she's like, "I'm not doing this." And Littlefinger's like, "Look, Sansa, look. Bruce Bolton did do that, but it was because of the Lannisters. If we can make the alliance here, we can destroy the Lannisters and take over King's Landing. And it led to a really good Lord Baelish line for another good line about power and what we use to take. Just him like the only justice in this world is the one we make, and in this world that is very true in Game of Thrones. But so Sansa agrees to it, and and it was actually kind of fun when she met Ramsay. Ramsay's actually was actually like really kind of like calm and polite, and that made me laugh just seeing Ramsay doing that. So that was nice, and but it was also so sad to seeing Theon. He didn't get a line this episode, I'm pretty sure, but it's so sad just seeing Theon essentially just like it's the first thing he's like seen that represents family like for a year, for such a long time now, and he just can't refuses to look at Sansa because he just doesn't want to be seen like that, and very sad. That I thought that was sad. I know a lot of people hate Theon. I think he's redeemed himself somewhat. I mean, this man's taking a lot of shit. So, like, he wanted to apologize to Robb. He felt horrible about it. He's had his penis cut off. I think he suffered enough at this point. But anyway, and then you're just thinking, well, this is miserable. Is there any hope? And yes, there is hope, because then it cuts to the best duo of the series, which is Brienne and Pods, and just Brienne's like, okay, we're gonna go save them, and Pod's like, okay, and then this actually led to a nice scene when they're around the campfire with each other, and Brienne's like, Pod, you're just the nicest guy, I'm sorry I've ever been mean to you, and Pod's like, no, that's cool, you're a great leader, I like serving you, Brienne, you're a great warrior. That's such a nice scene. It was also nice seeing Brienne just opening up to Pod and telling Pod, I'll teach you how to fight with a sword. That was really nice, because yeah, it would probably be very helpful if Pod knew how to fight to a certain degree. So really great stuff up north, and I also love the line when Sansa, like, she's like getting a room, she's like going to a room, and her serving maid is just like, it's nice to see you, Arya, Sansa Stark. The North has not forgotten. Thought that was a great line. So. Oh, good stuff there. I also love the line how Lord Baelish was just saying, like, the Lannisters, they're losing their power, Tywin's dead, Tommen's is not a hard king, Cersei's becoming less and less powerful by the day. Like, if we can team up, we can conquer King's Landing, so... all cool, good stuff with that. So we hit all that. Then there was the wall again with Jon Snow, now the new leader of the Night's Watch. Fuck yeah, Jon Snow. So dear old Jon, he basically thought over the proposal for Stannis Baratheon, and he's just basically like, nope. And Stannis like, why? Why would you not want to be the Lord of Winterfell's like, I'm the leader of the Night's Watch. This is my thing right here. I'm not supposed to get involved in politics. I mean, not doing it, buddy. And then Stan's like, well, fuck you, Jon, and then just leaves. But then the much better half of Stannis being Sir Davos. I love Sir Davos. Does anyone not love Sir Davos? Sir Davos just sits down and just says, look, Jon, Stannis is a dick, but he likes you. Just know that. And then he leaves. I like how Sir Davos also says, like, look, I know you're technically supposed to protect us from the wild days. Like, let me tell you, the whole nation's gonna blow up in its face if you do not help, like, get a proper king in power. I like that line. I like how, like, he made the kid, like, recite the Night's Watch, like, I am the shield, like, whatever it is, like, I'm the knife of the sword of the darkness. It's like, yes, you are the shield. You can't just shield us from us. You gotta help us make sure that this nation does not go to hell. Really thought it was a good line. And then, Jon, I also liked how it showed how he promoted that guy, I forget what his name is, the one who, the guy who was, like, his competition for the new commander of the Night's Watch, when he basically, like, you're the new head ranger, and then, like, the guy starts smiling, like, oh, thanks, Jon. Like, I thought that was really nice. But then the dick guy, that the guy who was hiding was basically like, oh, I do not follow you, Jon Snow. And Jon's like, okay, guys, bring him outside. And he's like, wait, what are you doing? I love how how the new head ranger guy, sorry, I keep forgetting his name, basically says, like, no, I'm not defending you, Jon's our new leader, and definitely showing this guy's honor. It definitely showed this guy his great honor, even though he's not the nicest guy. Then they just take him outside, and Jon just cuts off his head like a boss, even when he has him begging, saying, I'm sorry, I'll fall, he's like, it's like, you disrespected me, and this is what you get, and just cuts his head off like a boss. Freaking awesome, Jon Snow. great John moment there. But also, oh my God, they said the maester at the maester at the actor plays the maester at the wall. I keep forgetting what that character's name is. The one who gave John the winning vote. They said he was sick and that's why he wasn't there this episode. I think this is where the actor died during shooting. If last week's episode was the last episode, sad to see him go. He was a good cast member, but so sad. So good for him. He went out on a high note, giving John the winning vote. So, but anyway, so all that. Then finally, the last place is we went back to Tyrion and Sir Varys, sorry, I just forgot. They basically, I just love Tyrion basically just getting more and more like, oh my fucking God, I am sick of this goddamn carriage. And then he decides to finally take a walk, goes to a whorehouse. I like him talking up a whore and being like, and then like and then he's just into a whore, and then she's like, okay, I'll sleep with you, and because Tyrion being his very nice self, and you kind of just suddenly realize Tyrion just suddenly realizes the psychological damage from killing his girlfriend. He's just like, I can't do it. I want to, but I can't sleep with you. I don't understand why. So I really like that. It's definitely pulling up the psychological damage that Tyrion has. But then, this was when I heard they were changing things from the book to TV show, this was the one plotline I really hope they wouldn't change, and I'm so glad they didn't. When they're in the brothel, when Tyrion's going to take a piss, I like how you finally learn how people take a piss in this world. How some people take a piss in this world. Just how there's basically just a giant wall into a river. But, Tyrion... good old Tyrion, he's taking a piss, and then a guy comes behind him, and you're just and then he thinks it's Varys, and he's just like, oh, just give me a minute, buddy. But then he gets tied up, and then it turns out it's Ser Jorah. Yeah, I love Ser Jorah. I think I'm the only person who likes Ser Jorah. I do like Ser Jorah, and he's basically just says, I am taking you to the queen, and I'm sure Tyrion's maybe flipping out because I think that means Cersei, but it really just means he's bringing him back to Dany. So either way, they're now traveling companions, Ser Jorah and Tyrion, two of my favorite characters on the show. And yeah, so all I can say, very eventful episode, really great episode, really great character moments, from funny to dark to heartbreaking. Great episode. YouTube, I will see you next time, and please subscribe.